Hello, Internet. I am Ninjaofsorts, real name Joshua Thino, and I'm here with a special guest for Power Up. Power Up being morning coffee, good conversation, to power up for the day, week, month, and year. So, my special guest is Luke from the Leavenworth Times.
Yeah, so I'm Luke Peterson. I'm the sports editor for the Leavenworth Times. When I went to college, I really liked talking about sports, music, video games. Those are probably the three things I like the most. And so I was like, well, if I go for journalism, I can do that, and then just kind of narrow it down to those three and then go from there. And so sports was the first one that opened up, so here I am, but I also still like video games a lot too, so I thought this was a perfect fit.
I had the idea of let's talk about sports in the comparison.
Definitely. I actually wrote a column earlier this summer about why it's time to take esports seriously, because it's growing. It's a big thing that people are enjoying. I mean, it's close to being $1 billion industry now, so people are actually watching it. But like I was saying, so like in the Overwatch world, like the official esports league for that game, they had their season just wrap up a month or two ago. But one of the crazy things about esports too is they can change the rules like that. It's like in the NFL, in MLB, they change the rules and it goes into effect the next year.
Mm-hmm.
Or like if the NBA removed the 3-point line in the middle of the Warriors season. And
This is Alcatraz Escape, if I can get it for you.
Okay.
I was talking to him about this before, but
yeah, they said it would be almost like a shift in baseball, something like that, where it's not, it's not a glitch. It's an exploit. It's something that it's a strategy that's, well, it means it just isn't like the originally intended strategy.
it's actually kind of a glitch. It's known as the mock ball. That's not intended.
Mm-hmm.
This is my first, what is called a sequence break. Normally you need speed booster there to get through. Well, I tricked the game into thinking that I'm running in in morphing ball form. And doing that, whoa, crap. Okay. Doing that means I can get to the super missiles early and bypass bypass a mini boss, and that's why it's a sequence break.
Yeah.
All of these are little tricks that save you time in the long run. Well, it's like, isn't there a running thing about a bunch of professional level swimmers, like, shaving all the hair off their body?
Because it's going to make them more aerodynamic.
It probably saves tenths of seconds, but at a professional level like that...
Well, we saw in the Olympics 10 years ago, Michael Phelps won that one by that fraction of a second, where, maybe if he would have had it's speculation, maybe if he had a little bit of leg here, maybe he would have lost that, and then he wouldn't have had the 8 gold medals.
Just saying that this is not a sport. Like what I'm trying to do here, I would call this, like, the competitive racing circuit.
Yeah, exactly.
Because how many of those professional racers, 5K runners, do they constantly, like, race against people? They're racing against a time, not, mostly for their own personal best, but they're racing against a time, not a person.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm doing here, is I'm racing against a time.
Oh yeah, high risk, high reward, because it's like, obviously, it's dangerous, but then you do that, and then you can make things a lot easier.
On my bid to GDQ this last year, I nearly died during that section. I didn't, and it looked like I knew exactly what I was doing, but I was sweating bullets.
Oh, yeah.
And I read the chat afterwards, everybody was like, clutch! And I'm like, thank you.
Yeah, because I think the biggest thing that people who don't want to consider the sports, because the big one I was, anyone can do it. It's like, yeah, sure, but like, anyone can go play, like, I can go play football. I won't be as good. Like, I can go catch some footballs. I'm not going to be as good as Jerry Rice. I can go throw a football. I'm not going to be Tom Brady or Drew Brees or whatever. I can play it, but I'm not going to be at the level like NFL players are.
This is therapy to me. It's like, way back when when I had a rough day, I used to go on a long run, like 5-10 miles. Because at some point in time, I'd get the runner's high, breathing stops, being heavy, and I can just enjoy it. And now I've just worked through all my stress. I can't do it anymore.
Like speedrunning, it's just like running, just instead of the physical exertion of like actually running your feet, you're doing it's more with your hands, but like you're running through this game. Same thing, it takes it takes time, takes effort to get good at it and all that. So.
Okay, please be a fast pattern. Please be a fast pattern. There's a total of 6 patterns you can do here. Okay, how about a mid pattern? You want to give me a mid pattern? Okay, that's okay-ish. Got him. I understand, in the competitive scene, it's pitting one person against another. Some days you have good days, some days you have bad days,
and you get that in sports too. Sometimes the best team isn't the one that always wins.
There's the rule of any given Sunday.
Exactly.
Any competitive, anything, actually. There are very few perfect games in the world. The best one I can come up with as a perfect game goes is chess.
Yeah. There's just so many factors that can go into it too, especially stuff like football and baseball, weather. That can have an effect, or in games that have more randomness to them, like battle royale games like Fortnite and PUBG. You go and you land somewhere. One game, you're gonna get the best. You're gonna get great stuff. You can get like one of the best weapons in the game. You're gonna get some shield and a med kit. You go there another time, and you're just gonna get ammo and maybe a pistol.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can't expect not to be unlucky at times.
You can be the best and have the best strategy for it, but there's still going to be times when it's not going to matter because
indifferent factor. Okay, the speedrunning aspect of this, because you see what I'm doing all this time, and
but it's like it's crazy to see someone who's like so good at that, but stuff like that, it's like that's a huge strategy. That's something that it takes that took,
and it's still under constant maintenance.
Yeah, that takes practice, and if you're trying to go play at a super competitive level, you have to make sure you get to those points. Okay, get down those exact where. Okay, I know exactly where this exact part of that soundbite. Bam, shoot right here.
So where were we? The game itself is. I play it at the first mark of being really good at it. The first big milestone you have to hit to be a good gamer at this game is get the sub-hour. Okay, here's another one. This is going to be, hopefully... Yeah, got it.
There you go.
This is called the halfie. That just saved me a lot of time. And we're at... So from here on in, it's actually boss rush. I'm just moving through the bosses as fast as I can. Longer. There it is. And that is a glitch because it's not intended. The game doesn't know exactly what just happened, so I end up in what is called blue suit.
And even if it's not,
and
legal, it's one of those that, like, it's something that people have figured out, and it's a way to.
Okay, this is where. We got it. There was a really famous race for this. 4 of the best people in the world running this game. And it all came down to, all within 3 seconds of each other they finished. The 3 who finished. But they also had one guy die in the middle of it because they're pushing the boundaries that hard.
Exactly.
Like the competitive runners, those people who push the boundaries that hard, somebody will get injured on the trail.
Yep.
Consistency means a lot when you actually do races. Somebody once told me it's easy to be great. If you were at this level, it's easy to be great. It's hard to be consistently good. Actually, that's where my world record speedrunning came from on Maximum Carnage. Before I deployed, I made sure that I had submitted a tape for the point world record. I'm like, well, now what? Nobody's gonna break this record. Because I had 200,000 more points than the closest guy to me. But I didn't know what to do, and then I discovered speedrunning specifically from this game. And I'm like, can I do that with Maximum Carnage? And all of a sudden, I'm the world record holder. So that little challenge is what made me...
What made you get into speedrunning, and then...
And to be perfectly honest, it's still what drives me in this, because I spend a lot of days in depressive funks. And to me, this gives me a purpose.
Yeah.
You know, I think the story of Bo Jackson was he was this angry kid who put every ounce of energy into sports.
And then he played in the NFL and MLB, and it's like one of the few that...
And he was the first guy to ever play with hip replacement.
Mm-hmm.
So we're coming up on the end. And, this is a single play section. This is a Metroidvania. It's designed... you get the good ending, beating it in less than 3 hours. Okay, I beat it for you. But that is really hard to do consistently. And imagine if I didn't have that fourth interview. That's what makes me not at Major League level, but puts me square into the minors.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad I get to beat this game for you. And we get to end the actual stream on, the credits, and you joining me saying Deer Force, because that's tradition. The guys who created this are Deer Force, or the programmers. And we just give them a little nod by screaming Deer Force at the end of the credits when they're named. And it's just the little nod I do, and it's kind of tradition in speedrunning. Because this game is a hallmark for even modern games.
Absolutely.
So my official time is 102.22, 0.6 seconds. Or 0.16 seconds. Okay, so this should be the actual official time. Successful clear time, 46 minutes game time. Did you enjoy this stream? So when we see Deer Force, you say, Deer Force?
Okay.
And that would be it. And that little audio cue is what I always listen to, because I know we're almost done with the credits. And right here. Deer Force! Until next time, thank you for watching Power Up. I am Ninjaofsorts. This is Luke, representing the Leavenworth Times sports section.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
So, until next time, you guys take care.
Thank you.